to select work. How do we select work? First, most important is that it has a significant contribution both to quality and productivity. And the candidates are what I call the BITCH process. I don't want to pronounce it, just want to spell it out. What are the BITCH process? The first is bottlenecks. Definitely, if you improve the capacity of the bottleneck, then you improve the capacity of the entire service or production line. And those that increase fatigue, especially if you see people at the end of the day working so tired, they're nakaluwa ng kanilang dila pagkatapos ng araw. O hindi pa man natatapos ang araw. Those that are time-consuming, customers are waiting on the line, at hintay na ng hintay, hindi pa natatapos ang proseso. And those, of course, that are costly and hazard to safety and health. I don't want to go into these details because I have a limited time. You might want to see me later on or during the question and answer portion as to what are some examples of this BITCH processes. But most importantly, in selecting the work, you have to develop the study plan with the stakeholders. Involve the customers, involve the employees, the implementers, the users, and involve everyone in the supply chain. Sometimes you might even want to involve your competitors. And I have done that in several occasions. And then there's GADI. The G in that is for us to gather and document the data. You might want to call it as measure. But make sure that gather only the necessary and accurate, necessary and sufficient data. Don't go beyond what is required. And how do you determine what is required? Well, several charting tools and techniques may be used to identify what information are needed. Ito isang tip ko sa inyo. Make use of secondary data. These are data that you get from reports, from documentations, operations manual, and so on and so forth, before you do primary data gathering. I think that's one of the biggest errors that we have. We don't make use of previous data that were gathered. But fortunately now, we know this as data mining and so on and so forth. But this has been a long tradition, a long standard operation that we make use first of secondary data. And then the third, rather, is for us to analyze. And I'll go into the details.